Hi there, I'm Jean Thompson and I am an education and career alignment coach. So what does this mean? This means that I help students confidently answer 3 questions. Who am I? What do I want? And how can I leverage my strengths and gifts beyond high school? In other words, I empower and guide young adults as they chart and pursue their own personal paths to happiness and success in the workplace. A little bit about myself. Growing up, I had a huge secret, which was I was not smart. I was adopted at birth by 2 brilliant scientists, and in their shadows, I just never felt like I could measure up. It turns out I had learning disabilities and that I wasn't stupid at all. In fact, I discovered that I am super smart in my own way, just like you are and just like your children are, because we all have powerful strengths and gifts to bring to the workplace. The question is, do we really know ourselves well enough so that we can choose education paths, work, and work environments that will bring us both joy and success? Unfortunately, I did not realize the extent of my own misalignment until I was in my late 30s, when working out of alignment from my work style and who I was at my core had really taken its toll on me mentally, emotionally, and physically. The great news is that discovering my own misalignment was the catalyst that motivated me 22 years ago to start my own workforce consulting and coaching practice, where I help business leaders align the right people with the right work using a human data analytics technology called the Work Style Patterns process. Very quickly, my clients, who were managers and executives, started asking me to work with their young adult children. And soon I discovered that helping young adults gain a positive and powerful sense of self and clarity and confidence about where they will thrive in the workforce was my passion. In fact, I call this my heart work. So for the last 20 years, I have guided young adults to discover who they are, what they want, and how to find education paths, occupations, and work environments where they will thrive. Over the next 20 minutes, I'm going to introduce the concepts of workplace alignment and talk about the importance of introspection, self-discovery, research, and planning before students choose their path after high school, be it higher education, going directly into the workforce, or somewhere in between. In general, we can divide young adults, meaning anyone between the ages of 15 and 35, into 2 basic categories. Those who will or have gone to college or some type of technical or trade school, and those who will or have gone straight into the workforce. The concepts and frameworks I'm going to introduce to you today are applicable and critically important for both of these populations. So as you listen, I encourage you to ask yourself 2 questions. First, to what extent would you have benefited by going through an intentional process of introspection and planning before choosing your education and career path? And number 2, to what extent would this process be beneficial to the young adults in your life? So let's get started by first looking at a very alarming statistic. According to Gallup research, only 13% of people enjoy going to work each day. As you go through this presentation, keep this statistic in mind and ask yourself, to what extent is this dismal truth the result of not aligning the human being early on with occupations, educational pursuits, and work environments where they are uniquely equipped to excel and highly motivated to pursue? Here's what you can expect to discover during this presentation. We're going to talk about why occupational alignment planning matters and the types of planning that young adults need to engage in to increase the likelihood of success in higher education and the workplace. But first, you need to be aware of some distressing truths about the college and career planning support that most high school students receive, both today and in years past, along with some alarming statistics about student success in higher education. Next, we'll talk about the impact that lack of planning is having on youth and parents, both emotionally and financially. and then we're going to turn it around and talk about what young adults need today and what you can do to significantly increase the likelihood that the young adults in your life will thrive in the workplace and in life. So let's go ahead and take a look at some statistics. Research shows us that for students who choose to go to a four-year college, 30% will drop out after their first year. When it comes to graduation rates, 9 out of 10 students think that they will graduate in 4 years and only 41% do. And only 44% of students graduate in 6 years. The worst statistic, 40% of all students will drop out of college. So you have to ask yourself, what are the odds of this happening to the young adults in your life? Because there is clearly something that is not working for over 50% of college students. And as you'll see next, one of these causes is when and how often students select and change their fields of study. According to the National Center for Education Statistics, about 80% of students change their major at least once. 36% of students say that they would go back and change their majors if they could. And only 27% of college graduates have a job related to their major. Students who stay with a major that doesn't suit them are less likely to graduate at all. Bottom line, switching majors adds time and money to the already high costs of college. The greatest tragedy, though, is what it does to the young adult's psyche. But there is a solution, and that occurs when young adults engage in education and career alignment planning. Let's take a closer look now at what types of career guidance students receive in high school today. Now, of course, there are exceptions, but consider these national norms as a wake-up call to get more curious about the level of career guidance that is or was available to the young adults in your life. The national student-to-counselor ratio is 482 to 1, which means there are 482 students who rely on one high school counselor to get their career exploration and planning needs met. And college and career planning is only one of 4 or 5 major roles that the high school counselor plays today. And unfortunately, this is true in most public and private high schools. Second, the assessments used in high school career planning are most often limited to aptitude, interests, and personality assessments. And they are most often given at random times scattered throughout the high school experience and without one-on-one debrief sessions with the student. So what does this mean? The student does not get a thorough and deep understanding of their results, and they never benefit from understanding the intersection of the results from the different assessments and how their unique combination of strengths and vulnerabilities creates a roadmap for the types of work and work environments that will bring them happiness and success. And worse yet, often the results are conflicting and can leave the student feeling uncertain, confused, and overwhelmed, versus giving students clarity and a line of sight into the types of work and work environments they will enjoy and again where they will thrive. The third thing to know is that most high school career guidance is purely assessment-based versus engaging the student in a process, and the key word here is process, over time, of introspection and self-discovery, where the student can fully answer the 4 most important occupational planning questions. Who am I? Who do I want to be? And what types of jobs and work environments will I thrive? And how will I get there from here? Lastly, most high school career planning focuses on guiding students to education majors and career fields versus the actual work. In other words, occupations within those career fields. For example, take just a moment and look at the different occupations and work environments that lie within these 3 education majors and career fields. And imagine the impact of a student getting clarity about where they will enjoy working early on in their studies. Do you think that they will be more motivated to stick with their education if they have clarity and excitement about the work that lies at the end of their educational path? Or that they will enjoy school more because they are taking courses that align specifically with the work they want to do? So this is a depiction of what happens when the process of self-discovery is not thorough, or worse yet, confusing. The student ends up exploring only career fields with little to no line of sight into the types of jobs and work environments where they will thrive, and consequently they end up choosing schools and/or work based on this limited information, and in many cases for the wrong reasons. Like it's the college where my dad went, or it's where my friends are going, or it's a prestigious school, or I've just got to put my stake in the ground somewhere. I can always change majors later. Or I'm not college material, so I'll just figure it out as I go. And then when they graduate, if they graduate and get their first job, they so often are not happy and end up running away from the job and questioning everything. And we wonder why only 27% of college graduates work in the field of study that they chose, and only 13% of employees like their jobs. So let's reframe this into the context of what is possible. This is a high-level depiction of what students need in order to find happiness and success at work on the job, which is called workplace alignment. First, students need to engage in an intentional process of self-discovery where they learn about who they are at their core. In other words, the unique combination of strengths and gifts and vulnerabilities that they bring to the world of work. Young people need to explore and discover what excites them, their aptitudes, their personality and character traits, their values, and their innate work style that research shows is developed in childhood and never changes throughout their lives. They also need to understand the intersection between all of these alignment variables. In other words, what makes them the unique and powerful people they are. Additionally, young adults need to examine their own personal definitions of happiness and success, along with their mindsets and beliefs, their relationships, values, finances, and their health, because these are the variables that will lead them either to or away from what they want. So when they discover the positive factors leading them to what they want, they will focus more on leveraging those things, like a great work ethic, or their resilience, or perhaps a strong faith in a higher power. When they discover the less than positive factors that are or will likely lead them away from what they want, like social anxiety, substance use, unhealthy relationships, lack of confidence, or poor self-esteem, they begin to see the impact these things have had on them and consequently become intrinsically motivated to address these issues so they do not sabotage their best efforts to accomplish their goals. Having discovered who they are and what they want will lead them to step 2, where they become motivated to research and get exposure to not only the occupational fields, but also the work activities and work environments within those occupational fields, based on their unique combination of strengths, vulnerabilities, and who they are at their core. This is ideally done through job shadowing, interviewing people doing those jobs, internships, and part-time jobs in those environments. The key is for the student to get early first-hand exposure to, number 1, make sure that the job and work environment is what they will enjoy, and number 2, so they become inspired to do the work required to get there. And once the student has a clear line of sight into the types of occupational fields, work activities, and work environments they will enjoy and perform naturally, the third step is to identify and choose the field of study and the institution that will prepare them for happiness and success in higher education in the workplace. After going through this process, most young adults will choose to get some type of skill or further education. But if they do not want to continue school, they are now equipped to seek work that aligns with who they are and what they want. This slide nets out the impact of incomplete college and career alignment planning. For example, when youth and young adults do not dare to dream and establish specific and incremental goals to realize their dreams, they don't discover that dreams really can come true with focus and hard work. And conversely, they wander, which can lead to negativity, apathy, and ultimately resignation. When young people do not uncover or feel that they have permission to pursue their genuine interests, it results in boredom, lack of joy, and ultimately anger and defiance in school and on the job. When youth do not closely examine their values and ultimately go to work in environments where their values are in misalignment with their work, it can lead to internal conflict, anger and anxiety, and ultimately a change of character if it goes unresolved. When youth and young adults do not fully understand their aptitudes and vulnerabilities, it can result in job stress, poor performance, and low self-worth. And finally, I would submit most importantly, when people of all ages do not understand their innate work style, it almost always leads to confusion, lack of confidence, and ultimately loss of identity. All of these outcomes do not have to happen and are why college and career alignment planning is the precursor to a healthy mind, body, and spirit for our children and for ourselves. Let's talk about the ultimate goal, which is workplace alignment, and a framework my organization offers for achieving workplace alignment. Workplace alignment is the intersection between who you are, what you want, the work activities, in other words, the job itself, and the work environments where the work is carried out. Workplace alignment can only occur when young adults take full responsibility for charting their own personal path to occupational happiness and success by defining what workplace alignment means to them. In other words, when a person finds workplace alignment, they can expect to experience optimum happiness and success. This is LaunchU's Career Compass, which is designed to guide young adults' self-discovery and capture who they are, what is important to them, and the alignment elements leading them to and away from what they want. So as you can see, the goal is for the young adult to chart their own personal path to workplace alignment, which is in the center of the compass, and to do this by exploring in depth 11 alignment elements within the context of their own personal definitions of happiness and success. In other words, ultimately what they want in life and work. So remember, workplace alignment is when who you are and what you want aligns with your work and the environments in which you carry out your work. Starting at the 12 o'clock position on this slide, the 11 alignment elements that young adults discover about themselves are character traits, values, health, relationships, mindset and beliefs, finances, skills and aptitudes, experience and knowledge, their work style, their interests, and the environments where they will enjoy working most. As they populate each alignment element, they will become more and more aware of where they naturally and energetically fit into the world of work and what is currently leading them to and away from what they want. With this insight, they then begin to research the industries, fields, and jobs that align with who they are and what will bring them joy in the workplace. And then after this deep level of self-discovery and conducting research on the industries, fields, jobs, and work environments that align with who they are and what they want, the young adult will seek out schools, credentials, and majors and minors that will lead them directly to happiness and success in both education and the workplace. Think about it. How can a young adult achieve true happiness and success without first knowing who they are, their unique combination of gifts and strengths, and what really matters to them? So when is the best time for students to engage in the process of introspection, research, and planning? In an ideal world, summer following the student's high school freshman year is a great time for them to begin to answer the question, who am I? This way, throughout their high school sophomore year, they can research and find out answers to the question, who do I want to be? And then throughout their junior and senior years, they get exposure into the types of work and work environments they think that they will enjoy to confirm that this is actually the case. So when it comes to making higher education decisions, it is based on all the insights that they have gleaned and the vision that they have created for their life. Now, you may have young adults who are currently pursuing their higher education, have already graduated, and/or skipped higher education altogether. In any case, who are struggling to find work of meaning and fulfillment. So the reality is, it is never too late to begin. I say this for students and parents alike. Let's talk for a minute about workplace misalignment and the family. Workplace misalignment can have a significant impact not only on the individual experiencing the misalignment, but also on the family. It may be one family member or several who are experiencing misalignment stress in their job, at school, or at home. It could be the parents or a child or both. In any case, when even one person experiences misalignment stress in school, work, or home, it impacts the entire family. And when all family members discover and understand how each other thinks and prefers to carry out work, and where and why each other is experiencing misalignment stress, it demystifies what is happening so the misalignment can be addressed and everyone can come together and honor and support each other's individual growth and goals and the growth and goals of the family as a whole. It truly is miraculous how challenges that parents face among themselves, with their children, and even between siblings are often misalignment based and can go from confusing and extremely stressful to everyone being crystal clear about what is happening and why. And with this clarity, each individual then embarks eagerly and with confidence on their own personal path of alignment. So can you see why I call this my heart work? In summary, education and career alignment planning matters to your pocketbook, with the absence of planning leading to extended time in college, family financial stress, parents risking retirement security, depletion of college funds, and excessive student debt. Planning also matters hugely to young adults' health and well-being now and throughout their lives. As we have just reviewed, without adequate introspection and planning, young adults can experience loss of self-esteem, motivation, and self-confidence, which can lead to poor decision-making, strained family relationships, physical, mental, and emotional health issues, and God forbid, substance abuse, addiction, and loss of life. So planning really matters. It matters to young adults, and it matters to our own peace of mind as parents and caring professionals, that we did everything we could to set the young adults in our care up for happiness and success in the workplace and life. So bravo to you for taking the time to listen to this presentation, because we can never underestimate the power of introspection and planning when it comes to setting our children up for happiness and success. If you would like to discuss your child or the children in your care, I am happy to offer a complimentary conversation to help you think through your child's or your children's needs and readiness for education and career alignment planning. My contact information is on the screen, and I look forward to meeting you and learning more about how I can be of service to you and those you love. Until then, always remember that every single person on this earth has powerful gifts to offer the workplace. It's just a matter of figuring out what those gifts are and empowering and guiding our children to chart their own personal paths to happiness and success in work and life.